Hi,
Hi, Michelle. Oh my God, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. You're in a car?
I am. I had a meeting that went way too long, so I
Mm-hmm.
was like, let me just sit here in the parking lot.
Okay. Yeah, busy, busy. I know. Thank you so much for joining us when you're like so busy. I know that you have a lot of things going on because, as a mother and as, a public speaker and, everything. Like I believe that everyone is like really excited, like including everybody in the office is as well. Like
Yeah.
we're so excited to have this live with you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, so let's jump right into it because we're like super super excited to talk about this because with as everybody know that Michelle is a three-time Olympian who won a gold medal in 2016, which is like amazing amazing. And Youthful Girl Sports Confidence Camp that
Yes.
we have seen on your website and then the Instagram that we are following. It all seemed to be amazing. You have been uploading a lot of videos there to, empower and help and support. So let's tell us a little bit more how you started Youthful Girl and what you've been doing with that.
Yes. So You Throw Girl had been on my mind for so many years. And in 2017, I finally took the plunge to do it. So what I wanted to have was a camp for young female athletes so that they can not just focus on their skills, but focus on who they are as young women. Because I believe it's so easy as an athlete to get caught up in what you're able to do as a skill, as your sport,
Mhm.
but more goes into that. If you're not confident or comfortable with who you are as a person, it shows up in your sport. So I wanted to focus on the whole female athlete to get her mind right about how she feels on herself when she's not doing sports, when sports have nothing to do with your life. Are
Mhm.
we still comfortable with ourselves? And I think that's so important because I think something that I learned
Mhm.
along the way, that I had to be comfortable with who I was as a person before I was able to win gold at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, that sounds. It's like so. Like I can't. It's hard for me to imagine because I'm not an athlete. But still, if we look at everybody, whether or not if they're Olympians or anything, just all athletes in general, you can
Yeah.
feel like they always have an image to be like strong and like fierce and like very. It's always looks very powerful, but as a human, we all have emotions, we have a lot of things going on, we have so much stress, right? I believe in
Yeah.
yourself. You have won medals three times, right? But you always will feel like, oh, I have to keep up, or it feel like almost discrediting what you've won if you don't do well the whole time. But as we all know that it's impossible. So how do you
Yeah.
find that?
Um, I've well, I try to just appreciate where I am because I do feel okay. So let me say this: I didn't win in 2008. I didn't win in 2012. I didn't win until 2016, but I made it to the Olympic Games three times. So with that, I knew that I could push myself to get better and improve on my sport and what I was doing. But I decided to really fully just believe in myself because sometimes we get caught up in what people want us to do, what we think people want from us, or somebody else's expectation. But you have to understand and go for your own expectations, what you want. And sometimes other people's thoughts get in our heads and cloud what we want to do. And sometimes we have to push that out. And that's why sometimes you can feel overwhelmed, or let's say even if you're just a regular person, you're not an athlete, you might be real comfortable. If you like math and you're good at math, you're really good in that field, you feel confident. But then if you have to write a paper,
Yeah.
your confidence might go down.
Yeah.
But you want to feel confident, like, you know what, not only can I just do the paper, but I can ask for help, and that's okay because you know your strength and your weaknesses. So you build that confidence to know, like, okay, I can do this by myself, or no, I can't do that by myself. And when we get to that point, that's when we can be our most powerful because we understand when we need help and when we don't.
Amazing. Yes, I agree. When did you started to feel like, oh, I'm gonna become an athlete? Like, when do you have the feeling, or when did you get started?
Well,
I'm very.
actually, I got started when I was in seventh grade. I just tried out for the track team. The coaches asked me, and I tried out, and I was like, oh, I actually kind of like this. And then I found out I was pretty good at it. So I was like, you know what, this is something I could definitely do, and let's see how far it will take me. Then I went from high school to college, and now here I am as a professional athlete.
Amazing. That's great. I think that it's like, it's just so that there's just something there that it's just cheers you up thinking about that you're doing what you're good at, and you're able to, make a living out of it, and then you're happy doing it, right? But
Yeah,
and another thing is that I feel like for specifically young athletes, a lot of times people may need more time to figure out what they like or what they
yeah.
want to do. So how did that go with you?
I really am a big believer. Just try everything. Try well, all the good stuff. Don't try just anything, but just try it because you never know what you're good at. Like I realized that I was good at makeup. And why I found out because I just started doing it. I'm actually really good at hair too because I just do it and I like it. So I like to try different things because you never know what you might be good at. Like just 2, 3 years ago, I decided to try golf. I found
Oh,
out I'm good at golf. I can golf right and left-handed, which is you don't see too many people who can do that. But I just
yeah.
tried it and I found out I was good at it and I go with it.
Great. That sounds amazing. Yeah, it's true. I love looking at you getting ready with me on Monday. That
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, oh, that's super cute, because you as a mother as well as an athlete as well, and then everyone will be feeling like, oh, you must be like so focusing on one thing that you might be too busy to care about what you look like or what everything is.
Mhm.
But you know what, everybody want to look good and everybody enjoy doing it, whether or
Yeah.
not like it's just to make yourself feel better and feel more confident. And so I totally love it. And then I also love how you were also posting that in Youthful Girl Instagram. I think it's very inspiring.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
let's talk about the challenge here. Is that starting Youth or Grow is to support the young female athletes. So let's
Mhm.
talk about the challenge there. Your experience being a BIPOC female, and even back in the earlier days when you were an athlete. What was the struggle and the challenge there that make you feel like you wanna help others?
Yes. So what I realized that a lot of young girls, when you're in that early teenage years, your body is going through so many changes. Like, you grow boobs and your hips grow a little bit. Like your body just changed so much. And then in that change, you start to feel awkward. And then when you feel awkward, you kind of start feeling you don't feel as confident in yourself. And I realized that those are very formative years because though those feelings that you feel in high school can stick with you for the rest of your life, right? So
Yes.
I really wanted to. I mean, actually, I got a lot of questions from parents like, "How are you so confident? Like, how can I get my daughter to be confident?" And that's when I realized there's something there that there is a missing link to people of feeling confident during those awkward years, and it's accepting what's going on and pushing through those awkward moments because you can't help the growth, right? Like when I
Mhm.
was in third grade, I was head and shoulders taller than everybody in my class. Like I was 5'9" in the third grade, which is crazy, right?
I'm the opposite. I'm like the always shortest person in the class, and then always
Yeah.
smallest. And then I have no like. I totally agree with what you said, because I feel so related. I was the same back in the day
Yeah.
when high school. I was so small. I have no boobs. Everybody else have boobs. Like, I'm
Yeah.
the opposite. And then I would feel so much. Like I was like lacking confidence. I even had like a boy I liked back in the day,
Yeah.
and and I heard him say something like somebody making fun of him and me, and then he said something like, "Oh, she doesn't even have boobs," and that really affects you
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Have lots of self doubts. So like I would definitely love to hear how you thought that, and then like how you inspired. It is so important for younger people to learn from us in order to avoid
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I realized like also, so since I was taller than everybody, I also had like a B cup in the third grade. So I had like real boobs in the third grade. I had to wear a real bra. It wasn't a trainee bra anymore.
Yeah.
And like those are things we can't change. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't just wish that your boobs would grow, or you wish one day you don't have boobs. Like that's just what you have in that moment. And so what my actually, to be honest, my parents did a really good job of making me feel like I'm normal. Even though in the world I was a little above normal because I was taller than everybody, and I was developed a little bit early than other people. But my parents would let me know like that's just how you're made, and that's okay. Like you're made this way on purpose. You're made this way for a reason. Find a way that you can actually use your body and use what you have, because you have it, then that means you have to do something with it. You have to do something great with it. And
Yeah.
having that type of mindset made a big difference. So when I was taller than everybody else, when I played basketball, that worked in my advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I used what I have, and I didn't look at what everybody else had and be like, oh, I wish I had that, because I can't get that. Like we can always be a better person, right? But I can't wish I could be 5'5" and I'm already 5'9", right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just looking at what I have and be like, so what can I do with this? I have this. I can't take it back. I can't give it away. This is what I have. Now, what can I find out that I'm good at, and how can I use this and do something good with it?
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And then parents definitely is a very important factor. I was
Yeah,
growing up in a very conservative families where my parents is like very typical, Asian parents where they don't
yeah,
like to talk too much about, things like that. So I had to, but luckily I had really good friends that helped me out at
yeah,
that time. And then, my cousins and then my older sisters at home, and it's like everybody around you is like so important. But what if there wasn't anyone, right? What if
yeah.
you're by yourself, uh, it what is your suggestion, like if
Yes.
nobody that helps you?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in it. You don't always have to have people on your side as long as you're on your side.
So true.
So there's things that I feel like we set our own standards for ourselves, and that's what means the most. So whatever your values are, or whatever it is that you want to do, like you get to decide to do that. Like I'll take it back to sports real quick. You can have a talented athlete who has all the ability in the world, but if they don't want it, they don't want to work hard and do the things that is necessary to be the best, they will never have it, because no one can give them that.
Yeah.
So everything that you do, um, it's up to you. You set the standards, you set the tone, you tell yourself what it is that you want to do. So there's times when I know some of my friends and family, when I say some crazy ideas or some business that I want, they look at me like, girl, that's too much. But I'm like, but what, it could actually happen. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I don't really need you to believe me now, but I'm gonna go figure it out. And then when I go figure it out and it comes and it happens, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, I didn't think you could do it. Like, yeah, exactly. I didn't need you to think that I can do it. I knew I can do it. And that
Yeah.
was a big difference for me, especially in that Olympic year. I had to decide for myself that this is what I want and this is what I know I can do. And I had to put the work to match that goal and go out and do it.
Amazing. That's true. That is so true. I think that also applies to not just being an athlete. It's like everything in life, whatever you do, whether or not, like a lot of times I have friends who recently became parents. They will have
Yeah.
doubts about, themselves. Am I doing it right? Am I a good parent, or am I doing good in my work?
Yeah.
There is this thing that have shown up recently called imposter syndrome, where
Yeah.
people always have a lot of self doubts. And I totally, I totally relate to that as well. And another thing is also because during the pandemic, everybody, have more distance, not just
Yeah.
physically. I feel like emotionally, you connect via, internet, virtually. You don't meet people so much in real life anymore. So there
Yeah.
is this feeling of isolation or disconnection that actually cause more insecurities,
Yeah.
that moves up inside you. So as I know that young athletes cannot actually, like, most of them cannot actually go to school right now, right? So how do youth or girl connect with them and with the parents of this young athletes?
Yeah, so I get on my Youth Throw Girl page, and I do Youth Throw Girl Thursdays, where I kind of just talk about different topics that I know they're going through or they may experience, or I just go in there and answer questions, because I know
Mm-hmm.
this time to try to figure out, so what can I do, or is this even possible? Should I even still try to train? And I try to give them little tips and little things that they can do that's going to push them to make them better as a person and as an athlete. Because I feel like at the end of the day, if you learn how to stick to something, like you stick to a goal or you just stay committed to something, it pays off. So I just want to encourage them to stay committed. It looks crazy right now. We don't know what's going to happen, but you want to be prepared. So if the world opens up and they say, "Oh yeah, track season starts tomorrow," well, guess what? You've already been working out. You've been doing little things. So when the time is here, you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's for anything in life. You want to stay committed to whatever that goal or that dream or that thing that you want. That no matter what happens, you're ready when it happens, right? And
Yes.
so in the pandemic, everybody's like, "Oh, the world shut down, so I'm gonna shut down." Like, no, this is a chance to hone in on whatever you want to do, and you work on it. You make it better. And we just want to look at this as an opportunity to improve and not as if this is a time to waste time. Like for some
I,
people, it could be like the time to relax because you work a lot. This is an opportunity for you to relax and rejuvenate yourself, which is perfect because if that's what you need,
as
that's
a,
what you need. But if you're on
yeah.
the other end of the spectrum where you like, okay, I need to really work hard because now I have more time that I didn't have before, then you do that because that's what you need.
Yes, that's so true about that. And this time is more about like improving ourselves and like, you know, improving ourselves. And I do feel like a lot of people starting to actually grow a lot more self-awareness during
Yeah,
time because you have so much more time instead of having to, instead of going out and seeing other people, you actually have a lot more time just being isolated, right? Whether or not it's
yeah,
by yourself or with your families, it's very special. I starting to see like it's a opportunities for everybody to
yeah,
develop
it is.
themselves and develop the relationship between us and our families.
Yeah, I do think that this was a time where you could actually like quarantine exposed if you really liked yourself or if people really liked you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you couldn't sit at home by yourself because you didn't like being by yourself, then it was telling you something that there's maybe something you need to work on about yourself that you
Mm-hmm.
felt okay about being alone. Because
Yeah.
it's okay to be with people, but it's still having that time alone with yourself and being okay with being by yourself. Like there's like strength in that moment because now you're not so dependent on others. You can
Yeah.
reach and get that strength from yourself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. It's so true. And then so I starting to at the beginning I was really anxious as well, and then later on I starting to appreciate, the experience of being able to get more and more comfortable and then feeling like actually more and more recharged
Yeah.
the more I spend time with just by myself. So I totally agree, with what you just said is like so relatable. And another thing is, so I work in Nannocare and we does menstrual products. So whenever
Yeah.
I talk to people, if I talk about what I do, I would always mention about mentioned menstruation and menstrual products, right?
Yeah.
And as an athlete, I know that you're a female athlete, and same as other female athlete, is that most of your audience are actually male. You know,
Yeah.
it is a fact that male like guys are more interested in sports than girls. It's just like a
Yeah.
general like a general fact. Of course, a lot of girls like sports too, but they might not watch sports as much as guys does. So
Yeah.
for that, as the female athletes, I just there are two questions. One, I'm curious
Mhm.
about how do athletes deal with that, and then second is that how do you deal with the discrimination that may be coming from male audience?
Yeah. Well, well, it's like I'm in a weird position, not weird, but it's like my dad is my coach.
Oh.
Right? So with my dad being my coach, I can kind of say certain things, but it still kind of creeps him out. He don't want to hear about those things because if I'm having like a rough day, because sometimes when I'm on my period, like my back gets really, really tight. My energy is really low that day, so I really have to fight. So I may not look like my normal self. And he was like, "What's wrong? Didn't go to bed?" I'm like, "No, I'm okay. I just gotta work through it." And he keeps asking me, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Dad, I'm on my period." And he was like, "Oh no, I don't want to hear it." And I'm like, "Well, you kept asking me. I was trying to let you make it." But what I realized is that we do need to make menstruation a normal conversation because guess what? We have our periods every month, right?
Yes.
And so it's a normal part of life. And there's some men coaches who are actually really good and they understand these type of situations. But having these conversations more, talking about it, understand how the body works, and sometimes you do have to accommodate for it, and then sometimes you have to push through it because as women, a lot of women or young girls, they want to be like, "Oh, I'm on my period, I can't do anything."
Mm.
Actually, for me, on the opposite, I feel like I have my best meets and my best games on my
Mm.
period because
Really?
now I'm like on the. I know I don't feel as well, so I really have to like focus. And I don't know, like my hormones are different, and I really go in during that time of the month, and it really helps me just really focus. And I really have my best competitions and best games around my period.
Wow.
So it's like
Wow.
so when people say like, "Oh yeah, I feel bad," like I know you feel bad. Sometimes it is bad. I have bad days too, but you have to really dig deep inside because it doesn't make it impossible. It makes it even more possible. You just have to find your way to push through to the other side because they almost people treat your period as if like something's wrong with you, like it's a sick
Yeah.
thing, like something's wrong with you. I'm like, no, you're nothing wrong with you. It's normal. You're supposed to bleed every month, and it's okay. And guess
Exactly.
what? You're still capable to do what you was doing yesterday, today, even if you're on your period.
Yes, yes. It's just so, it's always surprising, not surprising, but also surprising is to see for some reason that a lot of people are so afraid of talking about it, even though that it's totally something normal. The most shocking thing for me is like there's one of these article that I read online was
Yeah.
talking about a male worker that always were so mean to this female worker when she had to take breaks during her periods, and then later on she explained to him exactly how it is like, and then he was shocked. He was like, "Oh, I thought it's like peeing where you could just hold it until you go to the bathroom and then release it." So he always like, I thought that this is just an excuse girls make just to, take more breaks and stuff. I'm like, no.
No, no, it's a, and it's different for everyone. Like
Yeah.
some people have a really hard time and may have to go to the bathroom to make sure they're good every hour or every 2 hours, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think like just being more, having more conversations about it, making it normal.
Hmm.
People seeing pads as a normal part of life. Like if you see it in the purse, don't. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's okay, and
Hmm.
so um I think like us having this conversation and talking about it is a great thing, because now it's
Yeah.
not a taboo subject. It's something that everybody knows that happens. It shouldn't be a secret. You shouldn't have to hide it. But then also, this is empowering that others are educated. And
Yeah.
if you need a little bit of like grace during that time, you need like a little extra care, that it's okay, because your body is going through a lot during that time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, totally. And then I think that it's actually a little difficult for fathers to, help their daughters, especially single dads,
Yeah,
because if the society is making it sound such a taboo thing to talk about, it's actually bad, because a lot of dads, they want to ask for help because they don't know about it. Then they're so
yeah,
shy, too shy to ask about it, which just results in young ladies coming from a single father family to not get the help that they need, right?
yeah,
So that's also something really important, and I believe this is also something, will be implemented in a lot of the communities, including Youth or Girl, to help the young
yeah.
as
So
well.
that's one of the things I've been doing the last, well, this year for sure. I had an actual adolescent
Mhm.
OBGYN come and
Oh,
talk to the girls, because I want this conversation to be normal, because I do have some kids who are from single fathers, and
yeah.
dads will hit me up like, okay, she started her period, what do I do? And I'm like, hey, I got you, this is what you need to do. And
Yeah.
just knowing that they have someone they can go to. But a matter of fact, just send her to the camp. We'll talk all about it. Of all the things that she needs, how to take care of her body. And she's not just hearing it from me, she's hearing it from a doctor. And the conversation that the girls were able to have with the doctor was just eye opening, because you'll be surprised at the lack of information that the girls have, and not just the girls, that the parents have. And some of the parents are women, and they don't even understand how their body actually functions
Oh,
around the
true.
period. So it's like, let's just start educating people, because with education comes confidence. The more you know, the more confident you are. So when you
Yeah.
know more about your body, you can stand firm knowing that, okay, this is what's going on, and I know how to take care of my body. And so I'm good.
Yes, 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 that's so true. And then we definitely need to spread more words and then educational informations. I love how you have OBGYN in Youth or Girl to help with them, because I'm sure that as a father, and then it must be really difficult to know about it, because for girls, I always feel like I have so much more to know, to learn about. And then as guys, they don't actually experience it, so it's
Yeah.
even more difficult for them. So another thing is that apart from the menstruation aspect, is that we know that this is a time when we come to realize that we are like, we need to really support each other. And as for athletes, we always love, all the sports games and everything, but when everything is on pause, when everything is like uh, kind of stop, and everyone is so confused what to do, what can be done to support, whether or not you're an athlete or not, how to support the industry, for all the athletes
Yes.
in the sport.
Yeah. If I'm going to be totally honest, because
Mhm.
in the Olympic sport, in the Olympic movement, a lot of athletes don't make a lot of money. They have to
Mm.
have a job and compete in order to make ends meet. So it's pretty rough.
Oh,
So like
okay.
sending an encouraging word is a really nice thing to do. But if you have the means to help sponsor an athlete, or like not just sponsor them with major money, like send them a little bit of something to kind of help them. I say,
Mm.
because for someone, $100 make a big difference. And this is that little small gift. Or if you have products that you can give to that athlete that they don't have to pay
Mm.
for, like that,
Mm.
then frees their money up to pay for something they may really need, because they don't have to worry about something that's basic, right? Because
Mm.
and that's one thing that I want to help and build with You Throw Girl, that as the
Mm.
girls come through high school and we support them through college, I want to send them to college with like a huge like a gift
Yeah.
bag, so they have things that they don't have to purchase when they get to school, and that
Yeah.
saves them money and that gives them support. But then also for my professional female athletes, when they first get out of college and they don't have any contracts and they don't have any money, like I want to be able to give them things that they don't have to purchase. They know that, okay, if I help with this camp, I can get free
Mm-hmm.
protein, hopefully free
Mm-hmm.
menstrual products, wink wink.
Mm-hmm.
uh
Yeah.
you know, like these things
Yeah.
that you do have to purchase and you don't have to think about, it takes stress off of them, so they're free to
Yes.
do what they need to do and focus on the things that really going to make a difference in their sport. So when you think about your local athletes or your local Olympians, like if you
Mm-hmm.
have the means, if you have extra, or if you just want to buy extra protein and you be like, hey, what kind of protein you use? Can I just send you a thing of protein? Like those things will make a big difference in an athlete who is on their way to making it, because now they're going
Yeah.
to feel the love and support. They feel like, okay, I can actually do this because I'm not alone in this moment, even though they
Exactly.
can push through it when they're alone. But it's so much easier when you feel like you have a community and a team behind you that's there to support you.
Yes, exactly, exactly. We definitely have a long way to go for
Yeah.
to have, free menstrual products for everybody. That's what, a lot of the nonprofits that I know are fighting for it in each,
Yeah.
but still, it's so important to have, the nonprofit organizations like Youth Will Grow is trying to organize things together, make the connections and create a community to support, all the young athletes that is in need. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much, Michelle, to be here with us today, and it's been so nice to speak with you and then get all our questions answered. And I'm sure that
Yes.
I'm so happy to see that there has been a lot of the participants joining our conversations and listening. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, have a recap of today's conversation and upload it to our Instagram and our YouTube,
Okay.
and then list out the website of Youth Will Girl and Instagram, so that whoever that needs support and have questions for Michelle and Youth Will Girl can always contact her.
Yes, that is
Thank you so
awesome.
much. Thank you,
Yes,
Michelle.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
I enjoyed this.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. You have a
All
good
right. You too. Bye.
bye bye.